This is a message to all human beings on planet Earth. As per universal law, you are free to take it as you may. There are many things you are unaware of, although this is not entirely your fault. The people that you think you have elected to represent your interests are not abiding by this mandate. This, I think, is clear to most of you by now. What is not clear is why you are not seeing your best interests served and what can be done to remedy the situation. But while you bicker amongst yourselves about petty issues and try to find the blame for all the ills of the world in everything from immigrants to ignorant bankers and politicians, while you continue to look in the wrong direction, as directed, you continue to miss the man behind the curtain, the root of the tree whose branches bear rotten fruits. The proverbial wool has been pulled over your eyes and has been for so long now that many of you will simply be unable to conceive of what I am about to tell you. And yet, this communication is directed at you too, for soon this information will be common knowledge, and this will be perhaps one of the first straws on the back of your figurative donkey. The common understanding of your society has literally been inverted from the actual truth. It has been turned upside down, and the roles that you have assumed under the current control system are unnatural to most of you. Nevertheless, you have a purpose, one that is not assigned to you by another, whoever they may be, one that is your duty, your birthright, and your ultimate joy. For many years now, the purpose of the human beings on planet Earth has been thwarted to serve a hidden purpose for the benefit of a small handful of you. This is now in the process of changing. A critical mass of consciousness has been reached, and the potential benefits of the widespread dissemination of this information has been deemed greater than the potential damage incurred by its misunderstanding or misapplication by those still unprepared to receive it. Please help us make this the right decision. There are currently two separate but interfacing jurisdictions on the planet, but you have been duped into only acting and existing in one of them. The one you currently operate under is what I shall call here the public. It is a fiction, a conception that only exists in the minds of human beings through agreement and mutual consent, and nowhere else. It is inhabited by governments, banks, corporations, courts, contracts, legislation, and so forth. It is also inhabited by you, not you, the divine human being, the creation of our common creator, but you, the corporate entity, created on your behalf shortly after you were born, the one that uses your name in all capital letters, and the one you unwittingly represent, much to your detriment. Your birth certificate represents a bond and a foreign situs trust whose value is based not only upon your share of the common resources of the earth, but also upon the estimated value that you are to apport to your society over an average lifetime. Needless to say, based on this alone, the credit available to each and every being on the planet is only limited by the collective capacity to provide goods and services. Based on our calculations and the derivatives and hypothecated wealth that has all been created on the basis of the value of these bonds, each account is, for all intents and purposes, unlimited, amounting to several billion of your euros or dollars for an adult man or woman. A trust generally consists of three parties: the grantor, the one who puts value into the trust; the trustee, the one who carries out the instructions for the administration of the value; and the beneficiary, the one who receives the benefits of the value. At birth, your parents granted you to the government through the act of registration. A trust was created with your parents as the grantors, the government as the trustee, and you as the beneficiary. Unfortunately, seeing as your parents gave no instructions for the administration of your value, and seeing as you have not declared your right to administer your own affairs, the government does this for you, once again, much to your detriment. So whilst your means to live and create are virtually limitless, you have been tricked into working for a living instead of finding your purpose, fulfilling it to the best of your ability, and offering its fruits freely to others. And so, if this is all true, then what is the remedy? I have spoken of one of the two jurisdictions, and I have called it the public. The other jurisdiction is where all power lies. It is the world of facts, not fictions, of living flesh and blood human beings, not corporate entities, and it is where the only true value exists: your faith, spirit, and energy. Your faith is your trust in yourself and others, and is what allows for collective agreements and decisions to be made. Your spirit is your creativity and innovation, the capacity to conceive of new ideas and solve unique problems. The energy is the time and effort involved in applying your faith and spirit and making them manifest. This jurisdiction I shall call the private, and it supersedes the public in every way. The private is where you can be forgiven for your transgressions instead of charged in a judicial court. It is where you can discharge your debts with an acceptance and an autograph. It is where you can create the credit that you need to live your life as you see fit. To many, this will all sound too good to be true. That is only understandable considering the version of the world that you have been force-fed since your birth. But although many of you will have an incredulous reaction to this information, to many of you it will resonate with an understanding that you already have, even though you lack the details. Many of you know what you should be doing, and find money to be only an obstacle in your path. You know that something is seriously amiss with the world, and that your value as a human is considerably underestimated. You see the bounty of nature and an abundance of energy and resources that is enough to fulfill the requirements of all life on this planet. Do not allow this still small voice to be silenced by the current avalanche of propaganda on scarcity, on energetic and material shortages. They are but more distractions to keep you entranced and unaware of your divine nature and mission. The details and methods for recovering your birthright and true value are available to all those who care to find them. The World Wide Web is a good place to start. They are too many and varied for this introductory communication to cover. But please remember, unless you know who you are and have conquered the fear, greed, and hatred in your own heart, then this technology will be of no use to you, although you may think you need it the most. Please share this communication with all those you may feel might benefit from it. And please, be open to this, be curious, and be persistent. Your freedom is at hand.